So, it's Andreas Magenschab from UNIQA, and he will show us how to drive data science use cases or data use cases in general at insurances, or in this case at UNIQA. So we're very happy to have him here, and also for UNIQA to support us in this conference. So I hope technically, I think the technical setup includes some Slido as well. But again, maybe also, can you introduce yourself, Andreas, and thank you for having me here. Please a big applause to Andreas.
Yeah, thank you for the nice introduction. Happy to be here. Also happy to share our insights on what is going on in AI and applications in insurance business. Just go to the first slide. Sorry, in PowerPoint. Exactly, sorry.
No, sorry. Oh,
sorry. No, just go to the PowerPoint. Just start the PowerPoint. It's everything included now, so I just need to run it. That's all good. That's all good. Yeah. Just run the PowerPoint. Exactly. Perfect. Yes, here we are. Perfect. So again, thanks for having us. And happy to do short insights and share insights of our company. Actually. Okay, sorry. Yeah, probably I just give you a sign and just, yeah, that's what it is. Thank you. Yeah, basically my presentation has 4 main parts. So basically, why data analytics are important. Basically, how you can develop use cases. I think also Lucas now already shared some first insights. Then basically, I would like to give you some more insights specifically for insurance. Thank you. So basically, what are typical insurance use cases, and also what, from my point of view, from our point of view, is important to drive these use cases then in the company. Yeah, just to give you some insights also about UNIQA, it's like the first time I think we are present here in on this platform. Some commercial aspects. Basically, you can see here that in total, basically we are active in like 14 countries. So still, our home base is Austria. Our footprint is like Central and Eastern Europe. Basically, we are running 40 companies in total in these 18 countries, and with our total number of employees, like more than 22,000, we are serving 16 million of customers in this area, basically. And also, basically, we can say that as UNIQA, we are like a fully fledged insurer. So basically, we are offering all lines of business, all types of covers, etc. So basically, everything that is out there basically is offered and covered by UNIQA. Yeah, about me, I think some first introduction was already given. So basically, I'm heading the group data analytics department since February this year, so quite fresh. Basically, I have a long track record in insurance business, especially in UNIQA. So basically, I'm an actuary by profession, education, so really focusing on non-life business for quite a long time. And yeah, basically our team here, you can see on the right side, group data and analytics. So basically, we call ourselves to be like 10 data enthusiasts, basically driving data at UNIQA. So you see here our vision and also mission. So basically, our main goal in the end basically is to create value for UNIQA, or basically for our internal customers in UNIQA, through data and also technologies and analytics. And basically we do this by being strategic, like we have a group function, but also being quite hands-on in projects, as you will see later on in my presentation. Yeah, basically why data is important. I think, yeah, we are now here at the Data Science DACH conference in Vienna. I think you're all data guys. I think I don't need to explain to you in detail why data is important and should be followed up by all enterprises, basically. Yeah, and sorry, Lucas, that here there are some statements not coming from Accenture, but actually here there are some statements coming from McKinsey that I could find that were published. So you see here just what they're saying. So first statement that basically due to technical developments, basically insurance business might look like totally different in 10 years from now. Second statement, P&C insurers basically investing to improve underwriting by using data analytics will ensure better operating results and performance. And the last one, quite interesting, is that even insurers, as we collect a lot of data, of course, from our customers, from the processes, etc., actually having this data and using this data in analytics projects, etc., might even lead to new business models, meaning really offering or having data as a business also, which might also be still ahead of us. Yeah, probably this is the outside view, or specifically here McKinsey's view, but what is like our internal view explained quite easily. Also, this is like a picture we quite often use like to discuss with our people internally in UNIQA why we should develop data and analytics further, why we should set the next steps to the status quo. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed the story, like the hippo in the room, so to say. You see here simple examples on the left side. There is like two options basically on the table that are discussed. Option A, yeah, deeply analyzed, many graphs, analytics, etc. Option B, like nothing. In the end, option B is decided yeah, by the hippo, so the highest paid person in the room. And very often, I don't know if this is an observation also that you can share for your companies or for your business. And at least I can share it for UNIQA sometimes. Unfortunately, still option B is the case. And of course, out of our team, we have the high motivation to significantly change this and drive this differently in UNIQA. Probably, and here now comes the Slido. So basically, I would like also to involve you a bit in my presentation, and it works quite easy. So plus, if you don't already have it in your hand, just take your smartphones, just scan the QR codes, and then just shortly some questions should appear. Very simple question. First one is like, how data-driven would you assess your company or your business, or probably also if you're a consultancy, just give us a general statement of how you would assess your clients, for example, you're working with. And then I'm hoping that on the next page, okay, there's like one reply, 100%, 5 stars. So at least for some replies, perfect, thank you. Yeah, let's make it to 30, can we reach 30, then I think now we see the average is quite stable already, 3.4 stars. Out of 5, I think that's quite a reasonable number, so thank you for your feedback. I think that definitely shows that there's definitely room for improvement to become more data-driven in the end. Thank you for your feedback. Yeah, another topic also, what we explain to the people, what we use for explanation, what is also the potential of data. And basically very often we work with this like analogy of an iceberg. So basically you all know an iceberg, and actually this is what you can see basically. But also when you have the iceberg, then of course there's a huge part below. In the case of an iceberg, it can maybe go up to like 90% of the total iceberg could be down below the water. And if we use this analogy in respect of data, basically you could say the upper part currently is like what we use, and actually the current part, the lower part, is what we leave unused right now. And I think this is also describing from my point of view quite well what is the potential of using data and analytics. And when we speak about where do we see the potential, especially for our company, I can say is that very often it's about really simply starting to do data analytics, meaning starting in areas where they don't collect any data at all, or they don't do any analytics, not even reportings for the moment. These, from my point of view, these are definitely quick wins that you should go immediately. The second topic here also, reporting visualization. Again, definitely you also have your experience, but there are studies out there saying that in certain projects, like running business, regular jobs, like 70 to 80% of the time of the people is invested in like simply preparing the data or processing the data. Meaning, yeah, not enough time is left for real analysis, and definitely from my point of view also, that's definitely a way to do to reduce this amount and make the people really being involved in like analysis and not processing. Third part, like new data sources, is highly interesting from my point of view, and definitely this also goes here for the iceberg, like a lot of unstructured data out there in the world. Many of them are definitely not utilized at the moment, so definitely for UNIQA I can speak that there's a huge amount, for example, documents, correspondence we have with our clients currently unused. From my point of view, huge potential to be used in various business cases. And last part, of course, this brings us to the analytics. Of course, right now, over the last 10 years, from my point of view, the tools, the algorithms, etc., developed to apply this kind of new analytical methods like machine learning, advanced analytics, whatever you call it, to also then in the end monetize this data. So Lucas also had this in his presentation before, if I may reference to that. Basically, just collecting the data is the first step, but I think monetization really comes then with the analysis and application then, and model training, for example. So this is where we see the potential. And of course, also important here down below, not everything will be important. I think that's also important when you are in projects, that you have to keep your focus and don't run in directions where basically it just gets costly but without any output. I think also that's important to always mention not everything that you will dig for or dig after or go after will always show benefits. So definitely carefully choose your scope in that respect. Basically, how do we explore this iceberg? And I think also this approach might be already familiar to you. So basically, we call this our use case funnel, basically, and we really created such a funnel for UNIQA also, where we collect these certain use cases. And of course, I think you're fully aware that, of course, use cases are at a certain stage of development. And of course, first part of this is like the ideation, so like just to get an understanding what is the problem we would like to solve, what could be like first solution scoping, and like at least indication of the benefits that might be associated to the use case. Second phase, from my point of view, most important is like exploration phase. Like before you could see it like as prototyping, piloting, creating an MVP. I think really important from my point of view. Again, can just point out also, fully agree, like this should be like a short period of time, very focused, having quick results available in order to be able to also, as you see here, this bold statement, try early and fail fast. That's also important because also, of course, when you go into new areas, of course, also there's a risk that you fail in the end. And I think the earlier you fail, of course, the lower the sunk costs for your company. Yeah, and then of course, it's about then finally implementing and preparing everything for production. And then of course, in production, from my point of view, or from our point of view, of course, this is not the end of the cycle, but definitely if you are in production, definitely you have this whole maintenance cycle, let's call it. So definitely from my point of view, highly important here in production. Still you need to check and backtest if your model still delivers the value that you have or that you expect. And of course this might then further improvements like retraining, etc. So basically this is also our approach, how we deal with the iceberg and develop then the use cases. Basically, where are the use cases in insurance business? And the easy statement here really is they are all over the value chain of insurance. Basically, you can find them everywhere. And also from my point of view, this is really my main motivation why I'm doing this job, because really you have these applications all over. Of course, now we're focusing on insurance business in our case, but you can see it all over, like starting from market evaluation. For example, when it's about like to simply detect like what is really the products that our clients need, for example, or which clients do we have in fact, and which ones we would like to serve. Product development, pricing, for example, is also a highly interesting topic. Of course, pricing is a topic that actuaries especially are doing since centuries, but of course now again with new data, with new technologies, new tools coming in, of course also here in pricing there's lots of possibilities to improve your pricing. By means of like being probably smarter than the market or outperforming the market a bit, high potential in insurance. Marketing, sales, like basically where do we set our activities? Again, simple cost effort perspective, like where do we invest the budget? What is the return that we have of it? So for example, just give you a flagging like our chief or marketing officer just lately dropped a question like, okay, please guys, do me a proper analysis and give me feedback of like how efficiently do we currently spend our marketing budget. Of course, sometimes tricky to estimate, especially if it's like general budget being spent, not specific. But these are the questions on the table, which of course, coming back to my entrance statement, also means that those guys are now really thinking about to at least use the data and analytics to quantify the stuff and become more data driven for their area. Yeah, and of course, customer service, claims management, of course, and of course, not to forget about the various back office functions and processes that an insurance has to run, like the whole finance and risk area. I don't know if you have some relation to risk, for example, Solvency II, this whole risk modeling requires lots of simulations, etc. Of course, here, advanced analytics, machine learning can be a high benefit. Asset management, of course, like investment strategies, definitions, stress testings, etc. process management, incasso, HR, for example. Of course, also HR is highly interested in, like, for example, probably you noticed already use cases like screening CVs, like pre-screening CVs, so before inviting people to interviews. Also probably having some kind of prediction model, like what are the kind of people that stay with us, if, especially in case if we have a high turnover. Also these are aspects that are currently discussed on the experts level, and basically could be potential use cases. So basically this was the rather high level introduction on insurance value chain and potential use cases. I will come to this then a bit more detail to show you a bit more specific use cases. But before that, I would also basically, of course, sorry, not to forget about our customers in the middle, of course, because of course the main idea while running this is we would like to satisfy our customers' needs. And of course here data analytics also is very important to see this, whether we constantly can fulfill our promises or whether we have to update or adopt our strategies and service levels also. So this is the general overview, and before we come to the specifics use cases, I would again please you for your input. So another slide of questions should pop up immediately, and the question would be like, which areas now that are shown to you in insurance business would you find to be the most promising ones? So we're very happy about your feedback. So this is like an open question, so please just type in your area or process or product, for example, you would find the most interesting. And then, if you do so, then some nice word cloud should pop up to show like the feedback. No question? Sorry. Connection lost. Okay. Sorry for this. Just try to connect again. Sorry? Okay. So, am I kicked out now? Then let's try to start intern, or there was like another one. Sorry for this. Yeah. Yeah, should work. Hopefully. Yep. Okay, yes, we see Cristiano Ronaldo was not behaving properly. No internet. Just try to connect again. Nice there, yeah, sorry, nice there. Perfect, sorry. Just continue quickly. Exactly. Yeah. Sorry, the resolution is a bit spoiled, don't know why, but probably let's go back. Can I go back? Okay. Probably if we just leave presentation mode, does this work? Let me see. Okay. Yes. Just go to presentation mode again, probably works now. Yes, perfect. Okay, sorry. Okay. Yeah, sorry for this, but I see things like contracting, fraud detection, claims. I think it's the typical cases. So thank you for your feedback. I think in respect of time, we rather continue. Let's see if we can connect. Yeah, I think I hope this was a test. This use case will be new to me. So yeah, basically it's quite widespread. So there's no clear winner, so to say, so no clear preference. But basically, I take this as a feedback that yeah, you also see this like wide range of possibilities. And as I said before, from my point of view, also this is like my motivation that the highly interesting part of our job is we can basically serve many internal clients. So thanks for your feedback. Yeah, basically, what are the concrete use cases that we currently work on? Also, use cases that we see in the industry. Of course, we don't have this wide view of the industry like Lucas, for example, has with Accenture. But I think it starts with the basics, and I think also that's my message to you. Basically, you don't always have to think about the super sophisticated cases, etc. But go for the basics first. Go for the low-hanging fruits, and I think very often this can already be huge successes in the company. But the first case is currently we are developing internally, so things like a customer 360 view or basically a CRM, so customer relationship management still is a topic, like not only for insurance but definitely for many industries. Also, this is definitely a topic that we are driving more and more in UNIQA, like really basically collecting feedback from our customers. So basically, as I told you before, very often we think about our internal processes and how to improve them. But nobody really has the view of the customer. So basically, how does the customer feel with what you're doing, and what is the response that we get from there? So definitely here, that's huge investment currently in UNIQA, really getting this feedback from the customers at the various touch points, and basically learning also from our side was when first analyzing this data, that basically very often people have certain stereotypes as like gut feelings in their mind, like I don't know, people in the cities behave different than people on the countryside. And very often when you just do like simple analysis of this data, you see on like very first sight, no, this is not the case, or at least not for this touch point. But you know, like companies orientate like their whole strategies on like gut feelings sometimes. They say like, okay, we do have these stereotypes of customers. We need to have products, like, I don't know, for 10 different stereotypes. We need to have like 10 different marketing strategies. And in the end, you find out really, like looking at the data, no, that's not true. And therefore, basically, this is currently a very important case from my side at UNIQA. And of course, also the idea is then to bring this to the business by means of like improving then the services at the various touch points. Or for example, improving our CRM with additionally adding this data, etc. Highly interesting topic from my point of view. And really, as I can say, not super sophisticated from analytics point of view, whatever. So also easy to handle. Yeah. Some more, let's say, sophisticated cases and then difficult cases to handle. The first one here would be like classically computer vision or image recognition case. Here the car basically means that we do speak about motor business, especially casco business, basically when we are insuring the motor hull cover. And here currently one case developed is real-time risk assessment. So basically the customer taking pictures of the car from various angles, so supported of course. And then basically the AI solution tells you whether this car is like free of pre-damages or damages, yes or no. And I don't know if you have a car yourself and you have a casco insurance, then probably you know that very often in the old days, then sometimes like a risk assessor had come to you and like really check the car, especially if it's a used car. So we speak about used cars here. And here definitely, of course, that's a solution that simply improves the process. Also, I think here improves customer satisfaction, because it gives a quick feedback whether everything is fine, then the policy can be processed. That's a different thing than like waiting for the assessor to come like next week or in 2 weeks' time to see your car before you can get your insurance. Yeah, that was one topic. NLP, as I told before, explore correspondence. So in insurance specifically, you can imagine we have lots of documents out there. So starting from the policies that we issue to our clients, starting from like, I don't know, service correspondence we have to our clients, issues that are brought up to us, up to claims management, for example. And definitely here, as I said before, this like unstructured data, like documents, reading out this text, using them for the one or the other use case, etc. Currently a hot topic, and definitely this is something that we follow up more and more to bring this data into various use cases, for example, to improve our claims management, to add this to our prediction models to improve the accuracy there, etc., etc. Yeah, and last but not least, large language models like ChatGPT and Co. So basically also, of course, we are riding the wave, or have to ride the wave. It's like basically the whole world is crazy about these topics. But of course, seriously, also we would like to see how they can support us and in which ways they can support us. And in this respect here, we're not yet thinking about like, you know, having like classical chatbots for our clients, for example. But basically the idea right now is rather to use this like internally by means of like, you know, we have a lot of knowledge hidden in various documents and areas in the company. So basically knowledge management internally for the people, like in the back office, like somebody explaining to a client what is covered in your policy and not. This is currently what we are at least testing, how we can leverage this. Yeah, basically this is UNIQA. I'm already coming to the end of our presentation. Just some statements like similar to Luca's. What from my point of view is important when you drive use cases into a company. First statement is don't think you're smarter than others, especially business. So basically having business on board all the time is like for me a key success factor. So of course you can very often think about, there is this business people, they running the same things like 10 years, they don't change. We have a cool solution, why don't they go for it? At some point of time you also have to accept that they don't go for it, probably it's not the right time or they have other priorities. But from my point of view it's not worse to really go into a project, like develop it without any business owner. In the end, worst case, just is producing some costs, nothing else. Second topic, rather think small than too big in the beginning. I think you could also see this in our, let's say, development model of use cases, like ideation, exploration being very important. So, of course, in business very often, you know, especially managers, they would like to think big immediately, like, can we scale this already? But as you've seen before, better explore it first, have your PCs completed, develop your MVPs, etc., then think about to go bigger. Because, as written here, don't overestimate yourself, keep the focus on also the people on board, because going too big from the beginning, there's a risk of losing the people and losing scope. Third statement, show business potential from the start, which also means get the management buy-in. That was definitely one learning on our side, meaning very often development really starts and also is really sustainable from my point of view in an enterprise, very often if it comes top-down. So basically we were also trying a lot of things like bottom-up, talking with the expert about their ideas, and in the end no progress, because then there were no resources available, there were no priorities, etc. Finally, if you have management on board and if they clearly define a strategy, if they clearly define the priorities of like which is first, then definitely also that helps you for your projects to be more successful. Fourth statement, keep focus on priorities and use cases, don't get stuck in endless ideation processes. Basically that comes along with the first one. So really, go for the shiny cases, go for the cases that look successful, and try and get rid of the other stuff. Like don't get crazy because of all these ideas that are around. Keep focus. And last statement. Also, this was definitely learning in our company. Also, a bit depending on company culture. Don't get stuck with enablers. They're definitely not sexy. Nobody likes them. So nobody, if you say like we are doing a cool data strategy and now we are building up like our data analytics platform in the cloud for the next 3 years, then the first manager will ask you, okay, what does this mean? Like when you then say, okay, we have to now invest for 3 years, and then probably after 3 years, like the first benefit will come in, this is killing you immediately. So definitely, of course, these enablers are important. As we're tech people, we know that everything should be based on a solid basis. But definitely management is wanting to see value from the beginning, and therefore this use case approach again should help you to show this value from the beginning and not to get stuck or being killed by the management on your way to drive the data topic further in your company. Basically, last question now to the audience. Again, some stars rating. How would you assess the potential of data use cases adding value to your company? Also, again, if you are a consultant, just like how would you see it for your clients? Probably simple star rating in that respect. Sorry, I have to open it. Now it should be opened, and now the feedback should come in. There are no results, strangely. Why are no results? Okay. So here they are. Thank you. Okay, almost 30 feedbacks. I think quite a stable average score of 4.4. If you still remember, like my question in the beginning, like how would you assess like the current status of data usage in your company? I think it was like 3.4. Now we are like 4.5 with the potential. I think this is clearly showing the gap that you could also see before, like what is the current status, what is the vision, and I think that should be motivation for all of us, and this is, I think, defining the to-dos then for the next periods, to say in the upcoming years, most likely, to further drive data analytics in the business. And yeah, I think this should be then the motivation, and with that, basically, I'm almost at the end of my speech. So last topic from my side, thanks to all of you who already visited us at our booth. So if you would like to find out more about UNIQA, our projects, or we also have like the data lab or data challenge on our booth also. If you would like to try this out, just please visit us. Also just information for those people already checking out the data challenge. We will have our, let's say, winners published at 3 p.m. at our booth. And there are some great prizes from my point of view. Or if you just want to have some snacks, then highly welcome to visit us at our booth. Thank you, and yeah, happy